This is Bavaria's brand new SR41. It's a rather interesting boat. It's a 41-foot sports cruiser. They do a coupe or a hardtop version. The coupe has doors at the back and encloses that area. The hardtop is what we have here with a completely open cockpit. But there's some rather neat detailing gone into this. And if we start right at the back, I will show you the most obvious thing, which is this area here. Now, there's a couple of things you can do with this. This is a high-low table, so you can drop this table down and make that a sun pad as you would normally conventionally have. But by lifting it up as we've got here, that is a great area because, of course, when you're at anchor in a bay, normally you sit in here, you look into the boat, but to sit on this side, and this seat, of course, here, will rock the other way, like that, and that means you've got a tremendous area that you can sit all together around the back of the boat, and your view instead of into the boat is out onto the sea. I think that's really cool. Now, this platform here is a high-low platform, so you can put your tender on here and lower it to launch it. But let's go on board and we'll have a look around. Now, we're at a boat show, and as you can see, I'm not allowed up around the front, but we'll have a look through the roof at that anyway. But this is the cockpit area. Now, I've moved the seat as you saw, but you can have that the other way, like that. And that gives you seating all the way around here and around this table, which, as you can see, will fold out. So that makes a great dining area if you want it. And there will be supports, I've no doubt, to support that. Yeah, these fellows here come out so that has something to rest on. What I think is clever is that they put a seat in here that you can take out, which means that you can get around the boat and onto that side deck very easily. But when you're not using it, you can drop the seat in and it gives you seating all the way around. So that's quite a neat touch. And opposite that is the wet bar. That's under here. And that, of course, lifts up like so. And then inside here, just a little bit of storage and a cockpit fridge. It's very helpful. Excellent. Let's drop that back down. And ahead of this area, you've got this next to the helm, and there's like a sunbathing or lounging area just here under this huge opening roof section. Now, this is a fabric roof. You can see it all concertinaed up here, and what that means is you get a massive opening, so it does feel like a very open boat. And as I mentioned, this one is the open backed hardtop, so this is all completely open to the elements here. Of course, there is a cover that goes into this track here and drops down, so you can cover this up when you leave the boat or if the weather is not so good. But let's head on forward again to the helm. This is quite interesting. They just put a Garmin screen, and that then displays everything that you need, your engine instrumentation, your navigation, everything else can all go on there, where it's easily seen and easily reached. And control panels and that kind of thing are here, and your engine controls and your joystick. Now, there's another reason why that's there, and I will show you that in just a moment as we go inside. But let's just have a step up here and look out onto the bow. So up on the front, pretty conventional. You just got your sun pads on the front, and you've got some nice decks that go around, decent high rails. So that's all pretty accessible. Let's go and have a look inside. Now, in here, it at first glance appears to be a pretty conventional layout. So you've got your saloon area, so there's a dinette on this side, so that's to sit and eat or relax of an evening if you want to be downstairs, and the galley is on this side. Now, what you normally then have with this type of boat is master cabin forward, central double bed, guest cabin at the back with a low down area and two singles in, and then you'll have a head sort of somewhere in the middle here. This looks like it's that, but it isn't. If we go up to the front, this does look like a conventional master cabin, albeit perhaps very slightly smaller, but a big bed. And there's a hatch overhead as well. It's got some pads on at the minute, but otherwise you get natural light through there, and it's got a blind that comes across like so, and hanging lockers just there. And that's actually the toilet compartment on the outside. So as I say, pretty conventional and normally the master cabin, but on this one it isn't. So if we go back here, that is that day heads. So people from that cabin would come out here and use this one at night. And what they've done with this boat is they've made this a really big area back here and made this into the master cabin, and that's very unusual for a 40-foot sports cruiser. And this here is that sun lounging area here. That's why that's there. So it does make a great lounging area in the cockpit, but it also Gives you loads of headroom as you come into here. That's really nice. You just stroll into here. You don't have to duck down and climb as you do on some boats. And when you get in here, it's a really nice cabin. Now they're reckoning this is the master cabin, and that, as I say, is unusual on a 40-foot sports cruiser. This is almost always the guest cabin, but they've really eked out a load of space in here, and that works very well. It means you've got two really nice cabins. You've got two couples cruising on this boat. They can both feel very comfortable. I think that's excellent. I think it's a really nice layout. And then this has its own ensuite, which again, in a 41-foot boat, very unusual. You normally only find one toilet compartment. And despite the fact that there are two, they've still managed to find space for a separate shower stall. So this closes over and you can keep the compartment dry and just have this as a shower area. Just have an area to step out into. I think that's brilliant. I think that's a very innovative layout for a 41-foot sports cruiser. That works very well indeed. Now the last thing to talk about, as ever, is engines. Now we do have a slight problem there because this has a lockable engine room, which of course is great news from a security point of view. Less good news at a boat show if someone's locked it and we don't know where the key is. So the engines are under here, and I can tell you that there are a variety of engines, but I can't actually show them to you. But you can have Volvo Penta or Mercruiser petrol engines, or you can have Volvo Penta, all twin these are by the way, D4 300 or D6 380s. I reckon this boat would really shift with a pair of D6 380s. It would go pretty well with a pair of D4 300s in as well. So speeds probably maximum 30 to 35 area, something like that, maybe a bit more with those D6s in. So that's it. Say, shame we can't show you the engines another time perhaps, but the layout of this and some very neat features, and particularly, in fact we're going to finish up there, this area at the back, this I like. So there we are, Bavaria SR41. I think it's a very clever boat, and nice to see people doing something a little bit different. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one, I hope. Take care, goodbye.